Are you tired of the same old sports media? Are you tired of hot takes, arguments, and questions that are just completely off base?
Luckily, we have something for you. Touchdowns and tangents. Of the people, for the people, by people who care about the culture and all its concise commentary.
That little echo. Run it back.
Hey, you out there. You want some culturally concise commentary? You want some co-hosts who actually
Oh,
are
you
authentic
thought.
and real? You
It's
can
actually a
tell
different one.
that they actually have some type of chemistry going on. You hate cloud chasing? I actually got something in mind for you.
What's that?
Keep listening. You'll find out.
This is Touchdowns and Tangents, your weekly spot for NFL takes, culturally concise, tangent, and context for the culture.
Thank you. You're far too kind. We love you too.
Yeah, man. Is that all the caffeine you needed right there?
No, I still need way more caffeine. I'm physically exhausted. I'm surprised I'm still conscious right now.
What's good, everyone?
And I'm on spring break.
It's damn near 1 a.m. We're live for, well, actually, technically not live, and it's actually not really Thursday because this is...
It's 12:11. It's technically Thursday.
A specially pre-recorded episode of Touchdowns and Tangents.
I gotta see if my direct deposit hit.
Live on the Good News radio station, app, website, platforms, on speaker. And shout out to all the replay affiliates, including FBC Radio, X Squad affiliates. Shout out to X Squad Radio, xsquadradio.com. And yeah, your favorite podcast app soon to be. But yeah,
Spotify, Apple. We're all over the place.
Starting this late night on our new drop, our new promotional material. But yeah, man, we just wanted to start to release that to the world because it's been brewing for a minute.
Shout out to our connects. Yep. I just got that direct deposit.
I told you guys we're about to get better. We just keep getting better. But yeah, man, Touchdowns and Tangents, your spot for NFL takes, tangents, culturally concise commentary. The ad said it better. Whatever you want.
We podcast like journalists.
Oh my god.
What would journalist podcast like? At least a non-white one's not connected to a dude who might get NPR sunk. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No police investigations here.
No ghostwriters here.
Nope. No clout chasing here. We don't do that. It's gross and inhumane. And we can never look our family members in the face if we did.
Yep.
So there's that. Shout out to my mom.
All right, man. So without further ado, it's week 2 of free agency. Week 2 of the new year. How do you want to start the open forum?
I mean, I would have done a Duppy freestyle, but I needed that one for myself. But
Because you can't breathe?
that's not funny. You're a piece of... We're not going to curse this episode.
Because your arteries look like manteca?
Wow. Why did you just culturally insult me? Wow. No, damn well you probably got like a gallstone the size of gumbo. The potato in gumbo.
Did you really just try to do what I did but reverse it?
Yeah.
Is that how low your creativity is tonight?
No, that's how low my
on a
energy
Wednesday?
is. I'm tired. Like, you have a good joke, and I was like, I could match that. No, I don't have the energy to match that. It's rare when Pete gets one over on me, but when he does, you know what? I'm gonna give him his due.
Yep, just like
don't get cute.
Don't
come with another one. Don't come with a second one because I will counterpunch.
I was gonna say because the world's giving you more than your fair share of Crisco.
That wasn't good. Really more than you need to do. Bleed yourself twice. Don't celebrate your birthday. That was terrible.
All right, man. But yeah, free agency. A lot more developments this week. A lot more tier 2 guys moving.
Can we just jump straight to it now that I've done all my sighing and I'm just disappointed?
Yeah, man.
Like a father watching his son swing and miss at T-ball and cry. And then the girl he likes is actually swinging after him.
What do you think is the biggest signing this week? What do you think is the most impactful?
Perfect.
The one you've been thirst trapping on Instagram and
Not
Twitter
thirst trapping. I just want to say, like, now that he's a Raider, there ain't no conflict of interest, bro. You got to come out and say something.
What is there to say, man?
No. I don't want to hear that from you or
what is there to say?
By the way, when you're listening to this live tomorrow on Good News, or later today, like 12 hours from now, whatever, I don't know. When I get tired, my math fails. But when you are listening to this, I want you to tweet at Pete Certified or get at him on, no, not on Facebook. He's not really on Facebook. But tweet at him at Certified or get him on Instagram or just blow up the comment section with, yeah, Pete, you got to finally talk about how you really feel about Vontaze Burfict now that he's a Raider and he's probably going to wear 52 or maybe 55. I don't know. And he's a starting middle linebacker for the Raiders, and he ran a 4.9 coming out of Arizona State. And he didn't get drafted. People like to forget that. And he's like 3 concussions away.
Can we just talk about how dude didn't run a 4.9 before he got to Arizona? What is in the water at Arizona State?
What was in the water back then?
I don't know, but
because they got guys who can fly.
All I know is they took a lot of kids from my area who were actually fast and agile and athletic
and ruined them
and made them like overly bulky and strong and not flexible and like took away a lot of their speed.
Carl Crawford,
Brandon McGee,
number 8. Yep.
Like there's washouts. Even like those guys made it to the league, but like there's a lot of washouts that didn't even make it. The Corona to ASU pipeline was real for a minute.
Michael Ebanks.
Ebanks, yeah, but even before him, man, Ryan Bass,
yep,
DeAndre Lewis, like. They took a lot of cats and like pushed them out the league. I don't know. Maybe it's the party. I don't know what it is there.
Well, it's a better coaching staff there now with Herm Edwards. Kudos to him.
I think ultimately though,
and Antonio Pierce.
My whole thing with Burfict is, I mean, I get it. I understand. Like Gunther wants someone who knows his scheme pretty much. They seem to be buddy, so that makes sense. Raiders had a gaping hole at linebacker because Kabita ain't the answer. Markel Lee ain't the answer.
Tahir Whitehead isn't the answer.
So, like, who else are you going to sign? You weren't going to sign Preston Smith, who's, like, not Preston Smith, Preston Brown?
Zach Brown. Who snubbed the Raiders before.
Exactly. He snuffed the Raiders like twice.
Lowballed him.
He snuffed the Raiders like twice.
They lowballed him, though. It's different now. He played his way out of Washington.
He's not going to come.
He could, but he would be.
You already missed out.
He'd be an outside linebacker.
You already missed out on KJ Wright. You already missed out on Denzel Perryman. I'm pretty sure they weren't trying to pay C.J. Mosley or Anthony Barr money. So
I already told you, C.J. Mosley is the perfect New York Jets middle linebacker. He's David Harris 2.0, but not as fast because David Harris ran like a 4.5.
My point is, I get it. It makes sense. It makes a ton of sense.
George Ioka too, allegedly.
It makes a ton of sense between the need, between the fit. Now, as far as how I personally feel about it, I just think like there's a reason why
he smiled when he said that.
There's a reason why Burfict is like where he is. Like
Camarillo isn't perfect.
Like a lot of people talk about like being able to like turn that switch on and off, and I don't know, maybe he's matured a lot like since then, you know, being in the league and, you know, being a father and all that stuff. But what I can say is like his reputation goes back to Pop Warner football. Like the things you're seeing,
he tried to break Matt Barkley's
the
ankle.
things you're seeing him do in the NFL are things he's always done. Like literally, I've heard stories about him and Pop Warner and JV and Frostoff. Like that's just who he is. Like he, especially when he was like really, really a dog and like really, really like leaps and bounds, bigger, faster, stronger and just a better overall football mind than everyone. Like,
It's like his junior year.
yeah, like I remember,
That was scary times.
we were literally watching film on him, and like he would literally find any instance to take his helmet off. Like he would come out of a scuffle and make it look like his helmet naturally comes up, because you're not supposed to take your helmet off in high school football. It's a flag if you're on the field.
It might be an ejection too.
Yeah, but he would like make it look like it came off in the tussle, but really he just like undid his chin strap slickly and like pushed it off and like did a whole Ray Lewis dance and spectacle, and like realistically, like nobody was gonna tell him shit. Like I'm pretty sure there was referees and assistant coaches who didn't want to smoke with Vontaze Burfict back then when he was 16 and 17 years old. Like for real, like he looks like, I'm not saying he's small or like not fit, but he looks like way less intimidating than he did back then. Like he would look like a grown ass 22-year-old man when he was 16.
I believe that.
Like full on dead ass. Like, but outside of that, man, I mean,
I still think Wu's holding back on some of his trauma.
oh no, Wu definitely has some trauma. Wu played more. Wu started that year, so like he played more. Like I barely played like a handful of snaps versus him and got my ass kicked, and that was enough for me. Like, but Wu played that whole game and like,
oh god,
pretty much just got his whole shoulder destroyed, and like it was bad. That game was a lot. That game was a lot, bro. That game was a lot.
Some people actually. Oh, okay, I'll get to that one later, but no, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for in terms of like fit, I get it. The biggest question I have in terms of the actual move, it's not the 15-yard penalties people are talking about. It's not like any of that stuff, because that's just kind of nature of the territory where the Raiders are. And I think the bigger issue is like, how is that dynamic with Antonio Brown going to play out? Because as much as
he was tweeting out saying it's all good.
Yeah. Because as much as they talk about like, oh, it's all good now, we're on the same team, silver and black.
They probably both hate the Steelers now, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when there's smoke, there's fire. Right? So it's like, yeah, you could say it's all good. It wasn't personal. It was.
But when camp
it was the
comes
time.
Around,
it was silver and black. But yeah, exactly. When
camp comes around.
When camp comes around, when stuff starts going on, like when you're supposed to be going 80%, and all of a sudden cats are going 90 and 100.
But for that defense, they probably need that kind of an asshole. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
they're a soft defense.
They definitely do.
Like, they're young on the inside, which they signed Hankins 2 years, $8 million, which is why I don't think they really need to reach for a D tackle in the first round.
They don't, but the
they
problem
need an edge
is,
rusher. They have two defensive ends.
The problem is if it doesn't become a reach at defensive tackle and it becomes more of a value. Like, let's say Quentin Williams falls to them at 4. Can you realistically pass him up?
For Devin White, yeah.
Let's say if they trade back
and Ed
Oliver falls to them at like 7 or 8 or 10 or whatever.
I'm taking Montez.
Do you
Sweat.
pass?
Anything after 5, if Devin White is on the board after 5, I'm taking.
But even
I would take Devin White at 4.
Even Devin White. Then what are they going to do with Burfict? Play Matt Sam?
I would play White on the outside.
You're going to cut Whitehead and play Burfict at will?
Whichever works.
You're like, yeah. Whitehead gets to get cut. No one's going to cry.
Devin White ran a faster 40 time than Garyon Conley. Do I need to stress that? Conley ran a 4.44. That's nothing to sneeze at. Devin White ran a 4.42.
Yeah.
With a 39.5-inch vertical. It was good on bench. And yeah, people are saying his play style is kind of unorthodox. But you know what? LSU linebackers usually turn out to be really good. And he's probably the most athletic they've ever had. I don't see how you don't. Sorry to cut you off. I don't see how you don't take a guy like that in this modern NFL when no linebacker, nobody on your team can. Like, let's just look at the AFC West and how it's built like a track meet. You're the slowest team in that division.
That's my biggest thing about what you're saying, and that's kind of why I agree to you, because it's like, finding a middle linebacker who both understands the run game and how to stop that and how to support that, but also having the speed and range to actually be able to play on third down is rare.
I'm cool if he can't. I'm cool if he comes out for nickel packages.
Nah.
Honestly, they signed LaMarcus Joyner.
If you're taking,
I personally think that was a horrible signing because Eric Berry's available.
I've been saying that too, but what I'm
my
saying
sister's
is,
taller than both the Raiders starting safeties.
What I'm saying is though, like having that value of being able to keep him on the field in third down makes it worth selecting a middle linebacker at number 4. Like, you don't take a middle linebacker at number 4 overall if you don't think he can play all 3 downs.
All
like,
4
period.
downs. Honestly, like, Devin
Exactly.
White would never come off the field for me.
Exactly.
He'd be my starting outside linebacker. You're going to cover tight ends all day.
Exactly.
And then you're going to shut down anything on the run that comes your way. Let him start an outside linebacker. What's the worst that can happen?
But yeah,
he can cover.
That's what I'm saying is like it's especially with the way the Raiders are set up right now.
Because their defensive scheme is very vanilla. If you go watch the Bengals, it's very vanilla. You can predict. Like, I can point out people in their defense and say what their role is.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like when I look at the Raiders scheme, I can see them running a lot of nickel because they have 3 safeties they want to start.
Yeah.
And they have 3 corners now. They just signed another corner.
Nevin Coleman.
Yeah. And they'll probably draft one in like the second or third round.
By the way, we'll get to pro days in a minute too. But can you just hit the boo button for me? Stop signing former. Like, you could have signed Glover Quinn, who's a better safety than LaMarcus Joyner. He's a corner.
He's like 34.
Glover Quinn is not that old. Let me Google that.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying is like when I look at their defense, it's like, okay, who is going to be their coverage linebacker? Because it isn't Whitehead. And
Nicholas Morrow, but no one wants to put him on the field. And even he ain't all that great.
Where the cricket? There you go.
But again, like I said last year, and we're by no means draft beatniks, but we do play football and we understand concepts. And we understand that if they have a fast guy, you might want to have a fast guy too to cover that fast guy. And he might want to just be able, even if he can only cover from the slot, you want that guy to be able to do that. The reason why those Raider defenses, even when those Raider teams were bad, they had Kirk Morrison, the middle linebacker, and they had Thomas Howard, God bless the dead, on outside, who could rush the passer and actually turn out to be a much better coverage linebacker.
What I will give Burfict credit
it's a 4-3 defense. I don't know what y'all expecting, but like Tahir Whitehead obviously can't cover tight ends, but he does. You need to stop the run, so fine, perfect. And you need an outside linebacker who can actually play and run. And I'm sorry, Emmanuel Lemire is not it.
That's for sure. But what I was gonna give Burfict credit for is like watching his progression, like seeing what he was in high school, which was basically a dude who just relied on his brute strength and speed, like would literally track plays down from the backfield and completely blow them up. Or like perfectly time your snap count and blow up your center and guard and blow up the play.
I hated dudes like that.
It was bad.
My senior year, we played Santa Maria, or I don't know. We were in Santa somewhere. Damn, we got our ass kicked.
But yeah,
they literally were like predicting our snap counts, and it was just like, okay, well, you still have to run the play.
Yeah.
But in high school, when you know guys aren't going to make it to the next level, and like you always went against those teams, we went against a team that had a D line or one dude who was receiver, but he was going to be a tight end to the next level. We had a bunch of D linemen who were skinny and fast, and like that can kind of frazzle you. So you throw in a guy like Vontez, especially his junior year, even senior year, jumping snaps and hurdling people, like dog. It
was disgusting. It was crazy.
You can't coach
But that's what I'm saying is like from that, and even in ASU he did a lot of that. But in the NFL, he's definitely learned to read defenses more.
Damn, he's 33, right?
He's definitely, I know. I looked it up. But he's definitely got a much better ability to use his hands to take on blocks and separate. And he also has done a better job of reading deep offenses and actually being able to react in terms of thinking and not just like, oh, his reaction is so fast because he's just fast and strong. It's like, no, he's actually knows what's going on now. Like he's actually
playing smarter.
Yeah, and that's credit to Gunther. And the other thing is, like, he's actually a tough guy. Like, he's
no smoke intended. He's a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's not actually like one of those talkers,
fake tough guys.
And it's like, oh, okay, like what's good? Like he's not an NBA player. Like he's not Serge Ibaka. Like he's really about the smoke.
Who's never connected on a punch.
Yeah, he's really about the smoke, and he's about it 24/7.
Shout out to Fresher.
So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like that's why it's gonna be interesting to me to see what happens between him and AB, because it's like AB. I mean,
is the dog too.
Yeah, at least we think so. But now that's going to be brought to a test in practice, and it's like, okay, well, who's gonna give?
He might knock out Tyrell Williams.
Yeah,
he might just knock out like Seth Roberts.
Give them both concussions at the same time.
No, he might just knock out Seth Roberts just as a way for them to get an injury settlement. Why is Seth Roberts still on the Raiders? Why?
He got the picks.
He got naked pictures of God or something. Shout out to Nas. Shout out to Nas on that one. On Life is Good.
Any other free agent signings you want to address?
Yeah. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay. Bet. So, Dominican Sue's still a free agent. I just have a question, and then I'm going to get back to the rest of these signings. Would it be plausible that Dominican Sue ends up on the Indianapolis Colts? They haven't spent any money this offseason, realistically.
Bruh.
They only spent, they gave, what's his face? Devin Funches and Bunches. They gave him a 1 year, like, $10 million contract or $13 million contract.
Does Sue have a market right now? Because honestly, it's been.
But realistically, like, he would be the perfect centerpiece for that Colts defense.
I feel you, but at the same time,
he can still play.
I've talked about this before. It's like he can definitely still play. He can definitely still play at a high level, especially in the right defense. But at the same time, the way these teams work, I don't know if I don't know if he's going to get the market that he deserves or wants.
He's never gotten that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, he did kind of, set records when he went to the Dolphins.
But that's the Dolphins. The Dolphins are trying to actually unload Robert, what's his name? Robert Quinn's contract. They paid to get rid of Ryan Tannehill. They traded Ryan Tannehill.
Well, they're willing to pretty much pay to get rid of Quinn too. So
yeah, but they think about it. They got rid of Ryan Tannehill. Shout out to Miko Grimes. Miko Grimes is always right about Ryan Tannehill, and everybody's quiet. And she finally called it out. But yeah, so I got him. Ziggy Ansah still a free agent. Jared Cook probably most likely going to sign with the Saints. Justin Houston still a free agent.
Another guy the market has been quiet on. That's why it's
Eric Berry's a free agent. Yeah, we already talked about Juwan James. Brian Callahan signed with the Broncos. A huge signing for the Carolina Panthers. And Keith, this is the part of the show where you go crazy, but you and I both know you don't know who I'm talking about. But it's all good. Boise State alum, Boise State great center, Matt Paradis. Former Denver Broncos center. And by the way, Matt Paradis, I think was undrafted. Great young athletic center. Signed with the Carolina Panthers 3 years, $29 million. Not all it's guaranteed. But seeing as how Ryan Khalil retired and they have a center, that helps their offensive line out.
I just think it's crazy how they're like, okay.
Matt Paradis was their best lineman in Denver.
You gotta go, bro. Your brother's retiring. You gotta go too, bro.
Like, your services are no longer needed.
Yeah, your services are no longer needed.
He was always the better brother, even when you were like the number one tackle coming out of like.
Which is
Servite.
something we talked about off air, but like for real.
Is there a bigger bust than Matt Khalil?
As for in terms of a little brother,
Like a
I feel like
he's the Tony
I feel
Mandarich of little
I feel
brothers.
like Nick Bosa is gonna be in that, might be in that category as well.
We're gonna get to Nick Bosa in a minute, but yeah. So Golden Tate signed with the Giants, 4 years, $37.5 million. Mitch Morris, former Kansas City Chiefs center, 4 years, $44 million. He signed with the Bills. The Chiefs might just grab Ray Bradbury or Eric McCoy out of Texas A&M. The Bradbury's out of North Carolina State, though. Like, it's a really good interior lineman who are going to go quick in this draft. Yeah, John Brown signed 3 years, $27 million with the Bills. Jamison
Why
Crowder.
do people still go to the Bills?
Because they pay you money. I would go too. You would just never hear from me. Shout out to Pierre Desir. Had a great backstory years ago. Signed a 3 year, $25 million contract with the Colts. Morris Claiborne.
Finally, that dude is finally breaking in, man.
I wish he would just not wear 35. It's an ugly ass number for a corner. It's like nobody good wears 35. But anyway, Henry Anderson, 3 years, $25 million with the Jets. He's a tweener. Yeah, I think I said it before. Adam Humphries, 4 years, $36 million. Shaquille Barrett, 1 year, $5 million. Cameron Wake was a huge one to Tennessee, 3 years, $23 million. He's 37, bro.
I know.
Cam
That's why I'm in the air horn review. Did you really just say that was a big signing?
Because, bro, he can still play. That's
no,
scary
he can still play, but he
came back from a torn
definitely
Achilles.
a depth spot.
Yeah, but that's Tennessee's entire defense. Look at Derek Morgan. That's what he's been his whole career. How many 10-sack seasons has Derek Morgan had? Even though his wife is a vegan chef, shout out to him. Like, some of the food she was cooking in that piece, I was like, damn, he's a winner in life. Because Georgia Tech isn't that bad after all. Yeah, Terrell Suggs, 1 year, $7 million with the Cardinals. Clay Matthews,
That was
the newest member of the Ramily.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Ramily.
2 years, $16 million. I think this is great on two fronts for the Rams. Because they gave Fowler 1 year, I think, $14 million deal or something like that.
My
But
biggest
you got
thing.
Fowler, and then you got Clay Matthews, who can play middle linebacker. At this stage, he's
We've
not the pass rusher he
already
used to be.
seen that, bro.
Bro,
We've
he's not the
already
pa-
seen that.
No, they had him
I agree
doing
with
too much in that
I
defense.
agree with what you're saying.
If he only plays middle linebacker,
No, negative.
fine.
Nope.
he can play it.
Nope.
He can do it.
Okay, he should
He's
be
better-
rushing the passer every time he's on the field.
He should, but he ain't what he used to be.
The other thing you got to realize is, yeah, he only had 3.5 sacks last year, but like you said, he was doing a lot. One, and two,
When he made the Pro
he
Bowl
had
as a
like-
middle linebacker,
he had like three or four sacks that were like literally taken away from him off some bullshit, which
he should have had about
is
8
well
or
documented.
9 sacks.
which is
That's-
well documented.
That is true. I forgot about that.
But my whole thing with Clay Matthews, I mean, that's another move that just makes complete sense.
For the Rams,
Yeah. They needed a pass rusher. They need linebacker depth. He's got experience in a 3-4 defense. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's got USC ties. Like,
real mob ties, all-time highs.
and now he goes to a place where not only does he have a defensive line that can protect him,
Robert Woods. Shout out to Robert Woods.
he has a secondary that can actually,
Cover.
create turnovers. So he's not the dude who has to
He can just
force
rush
those game changing plays, and he actually has a good defensive coordinator who will actually
Wade Phillips.
who is a fan of him.
We'll put him in the right position.
Exactly, without having to make him the go-to player, if that makes sense. He's gonna put him in positions to succeed without him being the star player.
And now it's less pressure off Aaron Donald because if you have Dante Fowler, Clay Matthews, and Aaron Donald, okay, the stunt is going to be nasty.
Exactly, and if you put Clay Matthews on the tight end, Like, I'm pretty sure
your tight end is going to go to the hospital.
It can't be any worse than Connor Barwin. Let's put it to you that way.
No, he's first off. Don't you ever compare Clay Matthews to Connor Barwin? He's the all-time sack leader in Packers history. Respect your purpose in life. Clay Matthews is the Hall of Fame.
I forgot. You only stand for white players if they went to USC, but
not true. First off, Clay Matthews was a self-made walk-on. Did you forget that?
You have like a love-hate relationship with Cole Beasley. Like 1 week you're cool, the next week you're not.
It's just fun to hate Cole Beasley from
but
afar.
You really don't hate him.
I don't. It's just fun from afar. It's like if I met him, we'd probably be cool as hell and drink a beer. Like, man, I talk mad trash about you. I said your mixtape was trash, and I listened to it, and I was like, all right, Bunny B Rabbit is okay. But yeah, Kenny Vaccaro re-upped with the Titans, 4 years, $26 million. That's perfect. Justin Coleman got a huge contract with the Lions, 4 years, $36 million. Bashaud Breeland re-upped, 1 year, $5 million. Malcolm Brown, D tackle, signed on with the Saints. Cordell Patterson,
which is actually a good move, especially because Sheldon Rankins is always hurt, sadly.
But he actually was.
So I wanted him to be really good.
He was on the pace to have an All-Pro season until he got hurt. He actually had a good year. He was gonna make the Pro Bowl too, but he got hurt. J.I. still free agent. Zach Brown, linebacker, still free agent. C.J. Anderson still free agent. Randall Cobb to the Cowboys, 1 year, $5 million. That was a clutch. He's better than Cole Beasley. That was a better deal. Andrew Sandejo, I'll always trash him.
Randall Cobb hasn't been the same since he took that big ass deal.
And that hit.
His first free agency when the Raiders were like gonna sign him. Like, he hasn't been the same player since then. And I think that was because like everyone was, I think that was before Devontae Adams and or like
in between Jordy Nelson injuries.
Yeah, and it was in between Jordy Nelson's, and he had like 1,000 yards and got this fat ass check, and he's never been the same.
That's because he got exposed in that offense. But he's still a good player. If you have Amari Cooper and Randall Cobb in the slot, and then all those other receivers, Alan Hearns and all them, I like those chances. I like I like Randall Cobb to make some plays, and he's a good returner.
I agree with your theory. In a world where we're sure about Dak Prescott.
That's not fair though,
because you know what I'm saying is right.
Like, even if you flip it in bizarre world, we're just gonna be the complete extreme of that. It's not fair. But
because it's like Cole Beasley. I mean, Dak Prescott is like that player that makes a play and you're like he's the one. He's a franchise QB. And then the next play, it's like he does something mediocre, and it's like, you might be a career backup. You might be a journeyman. Like,
damn. Speaking of journeyman, someone who's never journeyed anywhere, Tyler Eifert, once promising Notre Dame tight end, but too many injuries.
How do you think he feels about the fact that, like you said, Notre Dame prospect once have 15 touchdowns 1 year, like an
Tyler Eifert had 15 touchdowns in a year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure double digits. It wasn't 15.
Check it.
I'm pretty sure.
Check it.
He never had 15.
It was for sure double digits.
It damn sure wasn't 15.
Okay. But yeah, how do you think he feels?
He cut his mullet off.
Essentially being the second tight end now, because what's that? Uzma?
C.J. Uzomah?
Yeah.
He's not really all that good.
Yeah, okay. Except for he got a 3
year.
He
had 13 touchdowns. You were close.
Which was more than you even thought.
It was. I would have said like 9 or 10.
And that's like,
I just said 11.
And that's like the only year he played. That's like the most he's ever played. Like, I don't think he's ever played 16
2015.
Years.
Yeah, and then
but yeah, now Uzomah is making. I think he got like 3 years and like $6 million per or something like that. He got a pretty good contract. My phone died, so I can't look it up.
Yeah,
but yeah, he got a pretty nice contract. And now, so Eifert's basically the backup.
Yeah, and he signed a 1 year, $5 million deal with them.
Which again, it's like
it's good because, I mean, he got it. By the way, Steven Gostkowski, the Patriots kicker, is still a free agent.
He couldn't have got that deal somewhere else with
Nah.
a quarterback that doesn't have a needle arm and can actually throw a deep ball?
With his injury history.
And actually not be the backup tight end?
Nah, they're giving him one more chance. With his injury history, nah.
Like, the coach couldn't have given him $5 million?
They have Eric Ebron. Why would you give $5 million to a guy?
Why not?
That's just not good business. Like, it was a good hometown. It was good for both sides. Why lose a tight end and he is coming back off injury? He can give you something. We have Steven Gostkowski, Patriots kicker, still a free agent. T.J. Yeldon still free agent. DJ Fluker signed a 2-year deal with the Seahawks. Marcus Golden signed a 1-year deal with the Giants. Muhammad Wilkinson, who broke his ankle with the Packers last year, still a free agent. Alex Okafor signed a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Chiefs. Dante Moncrief signed a 2-year deal with the Steelers. Shane Ray still a free agent. James Carpenter, guard, signed a 4-year, $21 million deal with the Falcons. Seahawks signed Jason Myers, 4 years, $15.45 million. Derek Morgan's a free agent. Benson Mayowa. And, yeah, I kind of just want to see where Eric Berry goes.
Yeah, I do too. But again, man, it's definitely
the coach might throw some money at him.
It's definitely like that 29 to 32 year range where it's like you still have a lot of game, but at the same time, like, teams aren't going to pay you what you're worth because you're kind of an injury risk, and you're not going to get as long of a contract as you want. So it's kind of like, do I keep playing? I feel like that age range is definitely when you have to decide, okay, am I playing for the love of the game now? Like, because at that point, you're already going on your third contract. If you've done your business right, you should already be set up for life after football, and you should have already gotten the splurges out of you. So at that point, it's kind of like, okay, what is my impact?
True. Another guy, Alan Bailey, because the Chiefs signing Alex Okafor. Bailey might be on his way out. He doesn't turn 30 yet, but he had his best year, 6 sacks. I always was a fan of him coming out of Miami. Raiders might just have to sign a guy like him, or a team that really needs interior pass rush. Like, it's interesting. And
okay, so can we talk about pro days now? Because
yeah,
we've been talking about free agency for a while already.
I got some pro day updates. I feel like we need a drop for that too.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna start with the latest and then work my way down to like Clemson, which was the last one I didn't get to talk.
Hold up, the fact that Matt Castle's even on this free agency tracker still makes me a little mad.
Neither's Kaepernick though, which by the
no,
way,
he is on here.
Oh, he is? Okay, I thought they were talking about it. Yeah, whatever. All right. But yeah, so Notre Dame's pro day.
I'm just wondering if RG3 and Sam Bradford will get signed.
I don't want to talk about Big 12 quarterbacks. Someone can talk about Big 12 quarterbacks. But yeah, so Notre Dame pro day. I'm only going to talk about the important names. Miles Boykin, he had measured 33-inch arms, 9.8-inch hands. He's 6'3" and 6'8", 222. I think he's the one who ran at the combine and did really well. But, yeah, Tavon Coney, the other Notre Dame linebacker, he ran a 4.72, did 18 reps on bench, 7.33 in the cone drill, which is like change of direction and agility. 32.5-inch vert, 9.8-inch broad jump, 32-inch arms, 1.71 10-yard split. Julian Love, cornerback, possibly considered a first-round pick, ran a 4.45, 1.59 split, measured in at 5'10 and 7/8, 193 pounds, 9-inch hands, did a 6.83 in the cone drill. Ali's Mack, he really didn't do anything. He just got measured. He has 33.5-inch arms. I don't know why like people don't get their. I guess I don't know. Maybe his arms grew. I don't know what the hell. What was the point of that? Drew Tranquil pretty much sat on his drills. He got his hands and his arms measured again. Dexter Williams ran a 4.59, pretty much around the same 40 time. USC's pro day. I'm going to talk about guys who have a chance of getting drafted.
That's where we're at with USC these days.
Don't make me sad. Porter Gustin ran a 4.73, which was slower than what he ran at the combine, which was a 4.7 flat. 37-inch vert, 10-inch broad jump. Pretty much because he's been so injury prone. Yeah, he's probably going to be undrafted free agent or a 7th rounder. And I just don't think he has the skill set or the flexibility to be a full-time 4-3 defensive end. I don't see it. He's never played it. He's always been standing up his whole career. I just don't see it. He's strong as hell and it's like an athletic freak, but I'm just not impressed. Gene Harris.
Is he Nick Perry?
No, he's more athletic than Nick Bosa.
I said Nick Perry.
Oh, Nick Perry ran a 4.5 flat coming out of college.
So he's not.
He
as
got
athletic. So he's not as athletic as Nick Perry.
Nowhere near as athletic and not as strong either. Actually, no, I think he did 38 bench press reps at the combine, but he's an athletic freak. Like Porter Gustin is an athletic freak, so whatever. But Nick Perry's a better player, and he's still a free agent too. Another guy the Raiders think about signing.
Nah.
Okay, y'all say that, but he's better than every defensive end on that roster.
Is he a defensive end? Because he's never played defensive end.
He played defensive end at USC.
Not really.
Yeah, he did. His hand was in the dirt, bro.
He was in that transitional phase.
No, they made him play 4-3 outside linebacker.
Sure about that?
Yeah, he played in a 4-3 when USC still ran a 4-3. Because that's when Pete Carroll was still there.
But I think he was like at the tail end of it, and I think like his last year he played stand-up end.
They did a little bit at stand-up end, but like I think he was an All-American too at one point, but he was always hand in the dirt guy. Because I think him and Jarrell Casey were around the same time, but whatever. Nick Perry is a 4-3 defensive end who just probably doesn't have as much explosion. I put him at like left defensive end, but I'm going to work on right tackle. But for the role I would want him
He
in.
ran a 4.64, by the way.
Nah, he got clocked like a 4.5.
He got a 4.6. I'm literally looking at it.
The NFL draft one?
Yep. On the NFL combine.
Nick Perry. I can't see that from here.
Yeah, now you can't see it.
I really can't, though. I'm pretty sure he ran.
You can't see it.
He might have ran a 4.5. 4.64. I would say Justin. Huh.
And he played the elephant position at USC, meaning he was a hybrid player. So give me that shit back, boy.
But nah, he had his hand in the dirt too.
Yeah, no, he did, but he played both.
Yeah, but so did Clay Matthews. But he played more defensive end than Clay Matthews did. But anyway, he's more of a defensive end. He's just a guy who's athletic enough to play it. But whatever.
He was compared to James Harrison and Lamar Woodley.
Freakishly strong and athletic, yeah. Agility was whatever, but for a guy like him, he can still play defensive end. But yeah, back to USC's pro days. Gene Harris, who converted from quarterback to receiver to corner to slot corner to safety, 5'10", 185, 4'6", 340. That's a good time for him. Honestly, I think he really should just switch to free safety. That's just his best bet at the next level. That's what will make his money. And a special teams guy, 9 bench press reps. I feel bad for Kendall Sheffield for popping his shoulder or his pectoral muscle at the combine. Corners really don't need to bench press unless you're freakishly athletic. Then you don't really need to bench press. Isaiah Langley, who I think got kicked off the team at the end or whatever. I don't know, whatever. He had a really sour ending to his USC career. 6 feet, 175, ran a 4.5 40. These like high rated prospects for USC. Not impressive.
Coaching.
Definitely. Toa Lebanon, who's a 6-year senior, who had a bunch of injuries and could play center and offensive tackle, but is really a center, but really needs to get better with his technique. He didn't run a 40, but he did 36 bench press reps, which would have been good for, like, I think top 3 at the combine. for offensive lineman. Jonathan Lockett, nickel corner, 4.69. Amon Marshall didn't run, but he did his vertical over, which is 32.5. 9.9 broad jump. He's probably going to switch to free safety. Now, the moment that I'm pretty sure Terry and Obi have been waiting for, and they're probably just too petty to mention it, Marvell Tell. Shout out to FBC. Marvell Tell, 6'2", 195, did 8 bench press reps. 41-inch vertical. I'm pretty sure he did the same at the combine. Want to guess his 40 time? Just say the first thing that comes to mind.
4.6.
Close.
What is it?
4.57. Yeah, there goes him being a press corner at the next level.
Well, they were talking about him pulling up the combine and being like an athletic specimen and freak.
Really, he just jumps really high. And Cedric Ware, who I thought was going to have some speed, only ran a 4.6. Yeah. Okay, Pittsburgh Pro Day. Darren Hall, running back, 5'11", 217, ran a 4.42. 27 bench press reps, 6.72 cone drill, 10.2 broad jump, 32-inch vert. Really impressive. Quadri Olison, he only did the 3 cone. I think he was at the NFL Combine. His 3 cone was 7.02. Now that's important because Montez Sweat ran a 7 flat in the cone drill. He had a faster cone drill than this running back at 6'6", 270, running a 4.41. And it came out that he had a heart problem after the combine. He had a heart problem and everybody knew about it. They just didn't say anything. So similar to Mo Hurst, a heart murmur, I'm just saying, why not double down if you're the Raiders and just draft Montez Sweat 4th overall if you're not going to take White. But yeah, so their defensive lineman, James Falston, 6'2", 233, ran a 4.68, 23 bench press reps, a 6.8 in the cone drill, which is fantastic, and a 40.5-inch vertical and a 10'9" broad jump. Pittsburgh State having athletes on the low. And a receiver, Rafael Araujo Lopez, 5'9", 190, ran a 4.45, 36 vert, 6.79 in the cone drill, 10'3" broad jump. The running back, he's really a fullback, George Aston, 6 feet 240, 4.6, 640, 29 bench press reps, 7.05 in the cone drill, 32.5 vert. Again, Pittsburgh has a lot of good pro players. They're like Rutgers in that way. They always have somebody. Let's see. Dwayne Hendricks, defensive end, 6'4", 265, ran a 4.68. 23 bench press reps, 28.5-inch vert. And if you want to know what the 3-cone drill is, you can just look it up. It pretty much just measures agility and explosion. They have a linebacker, Siyun Adiwu. I'm totally probably butchering his name. Sorry. 6 feet 230, ran a 4.6 flat, 25 bench press reps, 32.5-inch vert. Defensive back, Colin Jonoff, 5'9", 195, ran a 4.5 flat, 12 bench press reps. Again, corners and safeties, it really doesn't matter much what you bench press, only that you actually have strong technique. That's the funny thing. Like, that's the one position where it really doesn't matter. That and receiver. But when they are freakishly strong, it kind of means something.
All right. Did you talk about Ohio State's pro day yet?
No, but I'm about to wrap up Clemson's, and then we're going to get into Ohio State's pro day. Okay. Let me scroll back down to where I was. Holy crap. Pittsburgh has a lot of people. Oh, Wake Forest pro day. Greg Dortch. Some people liked him. 5'7", 173, ran a 4.49 40. Another receiver, Alex Bachman, 6 feet, 190, ran a 4.42, 10.7 broad jump. Alabama's pro day, which was Wednesday, it was Wednesday. I guess whatever. It wasn't Wednesday, but it was beforehand. Mac Wilson, inside linebacker, the last dude who could be considered a possibly first round pick. They had him 6'2", 239, and allegedly running a 4.65. But hey, whatever. And a 33-inch vert, 10'1" broad jump. Lester Cotton, offensive lineman, did 24 bench press reps. Penn State. Oh, let me see. There's a couple more. Actually, we already ran down Michigan, right? Did we talk about Michigan last week?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, cool. So then Syracuse, nothing really to talk about there. Oh yeah, Louisiana Tech, Jalen Ferguson, who wasn't allowed at the combine because he got no fight his freshman year at a Waffle House or whatever, ran a 4.75, 6'4", 271, 24 bench press reps, 32-inch vertical, 34 and 1/4 inch arms. That's really good for a guy who's the all-time sack leader in college football history. 6'4", he said it, 6'4", 270, running a 4.72. I think that's a pretty good 40 time. He said that. Oh yeah, and lastly, before I get to Clemson and Ohio State, Penn State's pro day, they had a guy, I'm just going to go to the most impressive times. Cole Farmer, linebacker, 6'1", 228, ran a 4.48, 1.55 split. The 10-yard split is just how fast you ran in the first 10 seconds, which shows key explosion. Bench press, 25, 37-inch vert, 10'4" broad jump. He might get a look because Penn State linebackers always get looks. Connor McGovern, who might be a second-round pick, a highly drafted lineman for Penn State, 6'6", 311, 28 bench press reps. Amani Oruwariye, I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name. Can't say it. Penn State corner, 6'2", 447.
And by the way, the WWE was at Penn State's pro day again this year, scouting. I guess they were at last year's event too.
Because Elias went to Penn State. But yeah, 6'2", I think he played baseball. But 6'2", 203. Yes, a lot of college football players going into wrestling. Shout out to them. But yeah, Amani for Penn State at 6'2", 203, running a 4.47, 36.5-inch vert, 10-foot broad jump, 17 bench press reps. Those numbers are excellent for his size, and he might be a first round pick. He might sneak his way in. Miles Sanders ran a 4.49. The running back who had the misfortune of coming after Saquon Barkley, God incarnated into a running back. But Miles Sanders did good on his own. He had 20 bench press reps, 36-inch vert, 10-4 broad jump. Nick Scott, the safety, 5'11", 201, 4.4, 340, 41-inch vert, 10-8 broad jump, 18 bench press reps. Another running back, Jonathan Thomas, 5'11", 217, ran a 4.4 flat, 39.5-inch vert, 19 bench press reps. DeAndre Tompkins, 5'11", 190-pound receiver, Penn State. Guess what his 40 time was?
What?
4.33.
Wow.
13 bench press reps, 34-inch vert, 10.6 on the broad jump. Yeah, man, Penn State has like a spark. Like they're like one of the low key highest rated spark schools where like they get dudes who are like really great athletes. And they stay great athletes, but like they run better 40 times than their play indicated. But that's just Penn State for you. But yeah, Clemson. There we go. Okay, so a lot of these guys kind of killed their draft stock. What are those guys not being Mark Fields? Mark Fields, 5'11", ran a 4.37. Pretty much sat on his combine numbers. But Kendall Joseph, linebacker, who was thought to be athletic enough, ran a 4.97. But he had 25 bench press reps. Trey Lamar Jr., who probably should have stayed in school, 6'3", 253, ran a 4.95, 25 bench press reps. And they just had him do D-line drills. He's not going to play linebacker at the next level. You got Dexter Lawrence, who sat on his numbers. He ran a 4.05. That is crazy. for a man his size. One of their tight ends ran a 4.66. Milan Richard. Cam Scott, a cornerback, ran a 4.78. That's disgusting. A receiver, Travion Thompson, 6'2", 197, ran a 4.43. Christian Wilkins, though, the most important 40 time. Guess what he ran?
What's that?
Just guess. Throw out a number.
I don't know. I was barely listening.
Okay, 6'3", 315, ran a 5.04. He ran a 100th of a second slower than his teammate Dexter Lawrence. And he had 28 bench press reps. But he's like 30 pounds lighter.
Trash.
I thought he was going to run a 4.8, honestly. But he's a gamer. He's probably going to end up with the Patriots or some shit like that. But for a guy his size to... Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, Christian Wilkins, because he's done a lot. Like, it'll be really interesting. Albert Huggins made himself some money. D-tackle, who ended up at the combine. He definitely made himself some money. Clelin Ferrell didn't run. Clelin Ferrell, 6'4", 264 pass rusher. But he did do 25 bench press reps. But I think that was at the combine. So, yeah. And Austin Bryant was there. Mostly did workout drills, but he didn't run either. So, yeah, there's that. But, yeah. The big one. I think this deserves...
Wait, did you talk about Georgia already?
Georgia's pro day. I think DeAndre Baker
what's today, too? He supposedly ran a 4.49.
I thought he ran a 4.4 flat.
Something like that. They didn't report official times. It's all unofficial times. But, yeah, he's basically Georgia's only first-round pick, and he ran a 4.52 at the combine, which wasn't really impressive for a round one corner. Especially when everyone's saying he's the top corner, including himself.
And he won the Thorpe Award for being a lockdown corner, but hey. But also,
so the 4.52 doesn't worry you?
Not really. He's a good corner. Rock Ya-Sin also ran a 4.5. He still did good at Temple's Pro Day. But by the way, shout out to Obi for hitting up all these pro days.
And Riley Ridley ran another 4.6.
Yeah, Riley Ridley was a possession receiver, but good for him. You got a guy like Elijah Holyfield who actually ran a 4.76. He ran a little bit faster, but he's still slow. But honestly, I'm not surprised. Like, there's runs where I wanted to see him explode and accelerate, and he really didn't. In college, he had a couple big runs, but it's like, anyone can do that in college. He probably should have went back to school. But hey, you tell cats to stay in school and they don't listen. This happens. But I mean, not everybody who was a great player in the NFL ran a great 40 time. So there's that.
That's true. Even though you're the
one
who reinforces the hell out of 40 times.
I reinforce athleticism. I'm sorry, but like, if you're gonna be great, I'm gonna need you to have some type of great athletic skill.
Which brings us to Ohio State. So you want to talk about it?
Which is Pro Day U.
Basically, I mean, the reason why that's the one
fast track,
the one we built up to, is because obviously you have Nick Bosa, who's considered in the top 5 picks. Then you got the QB whose name I'm blanking on right now.
Dwayne Haskins.
I don't
respect that man's name.
Dwayne Haskins, who's a top 10 pick. And then what else do they have?
Mike Weber, who actually did really good at the combine. Terry McLaurin, Paris Campbell, which
Paris Campbell got hurt and kind of messed up Haskins' pro day, but he played through it.
Yeah, but I mean,
my thing is, and I actually
Haskins can throw the ball.
My thing is, and I actually watched Haskins' pro day, his workout. I'm just not sold on him, man. Like,
why not?
I think
he has 2 receivers who run 4.3s.
I think
Terry McLaurin's going to be a better pro than Paris Campbell,
and he put I mean, not to be a stickler, but I mean, he did put 3 balls on the ground. So
I say receivers drop passes.
That's true. Yeah, we were all talking about Michael Thomas's drops, and look how that turned out.
Actually,
meanwhile,
DeAndre Hopkins
we got
didn't drop
Braxton
any
Miller, a
passes.
first-round pick, but yeah,
Braxton Miller was the first round pick.
second-round pick,
He
whatever.
wasn't a second round pick.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
He's like a third round pick.
Oh, my bad.
Third or fourth.
My bad.
He did not go high.
My bad. I'm slandering him
And he ran a
reason.
4.5.
But yeah, my thing is when I look at compared to Kyler Murray's pro day, it wasn't that impressive because Murray was like literally doing things like effortlessly, like without even really breaking a sweat.
What's arm talent?
And it's
And
like,
he's a freakish athlete.
and I was looking at Haskins, and it's like he does a lot of the same stuff, and it is somewhat effortless, but it's also like he's exerting himself. I don't really know how to explain it.
Well, he's a different kind of player.
Yeah, but it's just like,
he's a different arm talent.
but what I'm saying is
Kyler Murray's a baseball player who has a strong arm.
for Haskins to be in that top 10 QB range, like we're talking about him,
He is.
especially with 1 year experience, I just wanted him to look flawless on air. Like I was kind of expecting, one of those legendary Blake Bortles-esque workout.
Do you really want him to have a? By the way, Blake Bortles is the Rams' backup quarterback,
Which is funny in its own.
I'm gonna lie,
ways.
yeah, it's hilarious in its own right. I'm just not gonna bring karma on myself by saying anything mean.
But it's like I don't know, man. I see it what you're saying in terms of arm talent, and
He's a great player.
he's just missing that.
I'm missing better skill players and a better offense. Yeah.
Nah, not even that. He's missing something, and I'm not exactly sure exactly what it is.
He's not Byron Leftwich. Does he have better arm talent than McNabb? I would say so. Better mechanics? I would say so.
I mean, he has better mechanics than Jameis Winston.
By far.
But is he better than Jameis Winston?
Yeah.
I don't know about
If you
that.
put Dwayne Haskins on that Florida State team, they'd still win the championship. Dwayne Haskins is nice, bro. Don't hate on Dwayne Haskins.
We'll see.
Don't hate on them because Ohio State had a bad defense. Wasn't really all that.
I think the biggest thing is he needs to go to the right spot.
Yeah. So
He needs to go to he needs to go to a spot where he can have like a year of development at least.
Which would be the Giants, because I would just hand the ball to Saquon Barkley and throw it to Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard and Golden Tate. And I don't know who their third receiver is, but he's probably good.
Yeah, you really threw a Golden Tate.
They have Kevin Zeitler at guard. Like, if you look at the trades they made.
We said that last year, and they were trash.
No, but they traded for Kevin Zeitler, who's a
But
better
I'm
fit.
saying, we were like, if they figure out the O-line, the Giants might not be trash.
No, only, like, Soldier was terrible. But you have Will Hernandez.
Shout out to Trent Brown. No comment.
You go into Will Hernandez's second year, and then you have Zeitler at the other guard spot. And I think they signed a right tackle. Or if not, they can draft a right tackle. Like, they can do some things.
And Nick Bosa didn't actually do anything on his pro day. He was chilling.
Was told not to.
Business casual attire. Which, by the way, what we were talking off air, but it's like,
one, he's pro Donald Trump and seriously huge on some MAGA.
I mean, even besides that, though, it's like,
which might be a problem in the locker room.
how did Nick Bosa?
And he trashed.
Is he really like?
He's not the best player in this draft.
He's really finessing his way to a top 5 pick off of his
brother's success and skill.
Off of his brother's skills and success, and basically one good season.
Like, honestly,
which was his sophomore year. He's actually never had double-digit sacks.
He had 8.5, I think. That was it.
He only played 3 games this past season.
What's his brother's number? 97.
And he's had various levels of NFL talent on his defense.
Yeah, there's a defensive end on that team who had 10 sacks.
I don't know. Like, I get it. Like, in terms of him being a better athlete than his brother.
He's a better Aaron Campbell.
And some people have even said he has better technique to an extent than his brother.
Because he's a little bit faster. He's a better pass rusher in that sense, but
he didn't have the same level of success as his brother in terms of dominating, in terms of, putting, like, literally we looked at his stats. Not only did Joey play 9 more games, but he had, like, literally almost double the amount of sacks, almost double the tackles for loss over his career compared to his brother. So, while he's not the same athlete, he is a little bit bigger and a little bit lengthier. So,
I would say he's a better fit for, like, San Francisco for that defensive line that they have.
Well, the thing is, I mean,
Arizona, he's a good fit, but
we had questions. We and other people like us, a lot of people had questions if Joey Bosa would even be able to play stand-up in. And he played it his first year with the Chargers, and now he's a real-time, full-time defensive end. But for his brother, being a little bit smaller, a little bit more athletic.
He runs a 4.79. Let's not act like that's world beater status.
He ran like 0.0. He ran like 0.17 faster than Joey.
0.7 of a second faster.
No, it was more than that. But
because Joey ran like what, a 4.85?
I don't know.
It was somewhere in that range.
My question is, what I'm getting to is, what position is he in the league?
You think he's like a Justin Smith kind of player where he plays base for
exactly. But
he could bump down to D tackle.
But is that enough to warrant a number 1 pick? Because Justin Smith wasn't a number 1 pick, so
he was like number 3, I think, out of Missouri. Justin Smith was a high pick, but I would say, don't look at me like that. I would say when it comes to Bosa, he's a complimentary player, but he's not going to be your best pass rusher. I really don't think he's your best pass rusher. I think he's a really good player, though. I might be wrong. I was wrong about the first Bosa brother. But this one, like, there's character issues.
We've had past. There's precedent of
we don't know if that injury.
The little brother not being as good as the big brother, even though
Ryan and Matt Khalil.
Yeah, Ryan and Matt Khalil. But, I mean, it can go the other way, too, because sometimes the younger brother does benefit, like Derek and David Carr.
Yeah. But mostly it's usually like Jason McCourty and his brother.
Aren't they twins?
Yeah. We know Jason.
I don't think that's a good example.
Okay. You're like, okay, fine. Michael Kendrick, who, by the way, re-signed with the Seahawks.
And Eric?
Michael and Eric?
Eric is better.
Yeah, but Michael's faster, more agile.
So, yeah, basically we're deciding instances where it's a crapshoot. We don't really know.
Yeah. But I would say... I agree with Willie McGinnis' take. Like, he's good for what he is, but he's not the best. Like, Josh Allen's a better player than him. Quinnen Williams is a better player for him. Quinnen Williams ran a faster 40 time than Joey Bosa as a defensive tackle. And his 4.87 was the fastest he ever ran. And his people were telling him not to run again. He's like, nah, I'm going to do it again. And he ran a 4.83. That kid is special. When Alabama has specialty tackles, I kind of don't want like certain teams to pass on them, but
there's that whole issue of playing, with the elite defense and playing in a deep defensive rotation. So
Marcel Darius was the exception to the rule, though.
Yeah, and what the rookie out of Detroit,
Deron Payne. All I know is the dude for the Seattle Seahawks
from Washington.
The dude for Seattle Seahawks had 10 sacks. I think that guy was Deron Payne for the Redskins. But the dude who played
It's literally so hard to keep track of all of them.
There's like
because
five.
all
the past 5
all
out
their-
of empty tackles have been really good.
All their scouting report read exactly the same.
Practically, and they run like slightly.
Except for Williams. Williams is actually more explosive and athletic
all of them.
than all of them, yeah.
And he really played like a defensive end role.
But on that note, let's get to the rants because we've been really NFL nerdy today. Really in the weeds of NFL content. So let's take a step back and get to our unnecessarily tough rants where we express how we're feeling and what's going on in the world and in our lives and leave you listeners with something to walk away with from this episode.
Yeah.
You go first, Kenny, since you leaned into it.
I was leaning because I was trying not to fall asleep. I'm physically exhausted. And I have to be at work at 8 in the morning. And it's like 1 in the morning now.
Bro, that's literally me every single day.
Yeah, me too. But anyway. So March 20th is a special day for me. My grandmother turned 79 years old on March 20th. Well, it's Thursday now, but y'all listening, yeah, she turned 30. And wait, well, I just said she turned 30. Holy shit, I am sleep deprived. She turns. I'm scatterbrained. I'm so sorry. She turned 79. She had a little scare. Had to go to the hospital, and it sucks as shit to spend her birthday in the hospital. But I got to call her and sing happy birthday to her, which is like a tradition in the family that we've done every year since I've been alive. Call people in the family and sing to them happy birthday, even if you sing horribly. You just sing happy birthday to them. Let them know you care. And I got to do that. I was kind of just stressing out at work because I didn't know what was going on. But I'm glad she's okay. She's a fighter, and man, just like when you know like the end is either near or in the ballpark when it comes to a family member, it really puts things in perspective. If you know you're not like a flailing piece of crap and just all over the place, but like it really puts things in perspective. And me personally, I'm just happy that my grandma's still here. I got a chance to sing her on her birthday because life's really short. Like I just got this past week, I just finished paying for. I gotta actually, because my direct deposit just hit. Yeah, I gotta go finish paying for my my sash. I put like $300 worth of shit on my graduation sash, and it's going to be legendary. And I'm really excited about it, and I'm really happy. Like, it's kind of a culmination of a lot that I've been through and that I've been working on. So for me, that was a special moment. And I'm really excited for when May comes and they tell me, like, your sash is ready. And I get to show people what's on it. And it's probably going to make a couple people cry. And, yeah. Kind of warmed my heart. But before I get sad and start dropping tears, I'm just going to end this. Just want to say, man, cherish the people in your life because they're there for a reason. And, yeah. I'm tired. I have nothing else to say. Oh, Kofi Mania.
Wow. You actually did that right and didn't go way over time and ramble. And anyways, man, on that same note, you know,
I need caffeine.
I don't really have much to add to that because, you know, I feeling pretty much the same this week. You know, got to spend some time with my grandparent, my grandpa, as well as, you know, my brothers and sisters since they're on spring break. So it's been a great time, you know, even just doing the simplest things. It's crazy to just it's crazy when you spend so much time like not with a family that you really care about and you're constantly wondering how they are and like what's good with them, and even just doing the most mundane things like going to the store, watching a movie or, getting food, and it's just like your heart just feels whole because you don't have to worry about that person. You don't have to know what that person is, what they're going through. Like, you're right there with them in this universe, in this time frame, and it's just like it's a relief. It's refreshing. It's a great time, and like Kenny said, I mean, you really have to cherish those moments and cherish those people because you don't know how many more opportunities you'll get at that. So, yeah, I mean, besides that, not to end on a on a somber note, but life is precious and life is life, and it's too short to be spent always being petty, being self-destructive, and taking people for granted. So, yeah, man, on that note, let's wrap it up. This is Touchdowns and Tangents. 116 pre-record.
Yeah, I think so.
Signing out from the Good News radio station early this Thursday morning. If you could do one thing to support this podcast you listen to when you actually remember to, or this podcast you listen to every single week religiously because you really support us, either on the Good News radio station app or on our replay affiliates like X Squad Radio, or anytime you want throughout the week on various podcast apps, including Spotify, Stitcher, Speaker, Podbean, Radio Public, etc., etc. If you can do one thing to support these two guys here who are actually doing this on their second shift after having worked long days and here in the wee hours of the morning cutting to pre-record because one of us has a pre-agreed to scheduling conflict. If you can do one thing to support this podcast, please rate it, give it 5 stars, 4 stars. That helps us get discovered by other people, 1. And 2, it gives us a lot of feedback in terms of how we can make it better, what are some of the things we can double down on. And really, it's just a reflection that we're reaching you and that we're reaching you well. And hopefully it will, like I said, help us get discovered by other people because, I mean, frankly, any review you could leave on any podcast app, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, any of those places I mentioned before, a review you leave there is worth more than, even if you send us $10 on Venmo or $20 on PayPal to buy us a little food, because that review is going to stay with our podcast forever, and that's the foundation that can be set to help us continue growing. So please, if you can do one thing to support this podcast, leave us a review, 4 stars, 5 stars preferred, but even if it's 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, at least give us the gift of feedback so maybe we can improve and hopefully reach you a little bit better next time. On that note, I'm Pete Certified, a.k.a. Pete D. Camarillo.
I'm at Ozo Grande.
You like how I flipped that, huh?
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
I had to keep you on your toes with your energy on fumes right now.
Honestly, Kenneth Frank James Barry.
But yeah, we'll be back live again next week from the Good News radio station. This is Touchdowns and Tangents.
We out.
Have a good morning.